Hi, and welcome to the Home Video Emporium. I'm your host, my name is Brendan, and with this series what I hope to do is to catalog my entire collection of home video titles and determine which of these movies still belongs amongst my elite and esteemed collection and needs to be preserved for many years to come, and which of these movies unfortunately may need to be purged so I can free up some shelf space so I can still keep adding more movies as I have. Would still like to add some stuff, and unfortunately with the limited shelf space that I have, I am really at a place where it's very difficult to do so. So we're going to see what we can do, try to get rid of maybe 30 to 50 movies by the end of the series here, and if nothing else, we're going to hopefully watch some really good movies together. Today's episode, we are continuing on with our John Carpenter series, and we are going to 1986's Big Trouble in Little China. Film stars Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall, Dennis Dunn, James Hong, and the guy who was Mulder's informant from season 1 of The X-Files, whose name I fortunately slips my mind at the moment, but he's quite good in this as well. Big Trouble in Little China, I had heard about it for quite a while. I knew some people who had seen it, and pretty much everyone really seemed to enjoy it. It has a pretty catchy title to it, so I eventually caught up on this on DVD. And obviously liked it enough, so I would later I would buy it on Blu-ray at the Barnes & Noble near where I live in Clifton, New Jersey. And what was it specifically that made me want to purchase it on Blu-ray DVD and want to watch it again was this really feels a lot like one of the first real comic book movies, which it's not based on a comic book at all. It's based on an original screenplay, but it feels much more like a comic book movie than Howard the Duck or Batman. You had Dick Tracy around the same time, which did have a very comic book feeling, very comic book aesthetic. But I think Carpenter here really does capture something that Warren Beatty didn't even do with Dick Tracy. Just the character designs, the whole world building is very comic booky. The story is not very it's an excuse to get from one set piece to another set piece. Just because it's set in Chinatown, doesn't mean Robert Towne wrote it. But even with that, that's very much like a video game kind of thing or comic book kind of thing, where you have all these different creature designs you want to do. You have all these set pieces you want to do, and so that's what the story is doing, is just getting you from one piece to another. There's even a scene at the end where Egg Shen is fighting David Lopan, played by James Hong, and they're like just doing their like magic rays and fighting each other. And Lopan, he's going like this, like he's playing Nintendo, and that's pretty wild in a movie from 1986 that they're already embracing video game culture. There was obviously arcades at the time, there was Atari, and I think in a lot of ways this movie is much more ahead of its time than people don't give it credit for. The actor Dennis Dunn, who I think he hasn't done a lot. He's in Prince of Darkness, which I unfortunately don't own on any form of home video, so we won't be covering that in our Carpenter series here. He's really good. He has some really cool fight scenes at the end where it feels like something out of a comic book, where they're leaping with their swords and weapons, and the background is super blurry. It's really incredible that you see Edgar Wright do this many years later in something like Scott Pilgrim, and and Carpenter was ahead of the time. You've got a really great art department. You've got a Les Guberidge, I apologize for mispronouncing your name, April Ferry, who did a lot of the costume design, and Richard Eldland, who did the visual effects, which are really cool. You have the Lopan sons, who do the crazy lightning effects. There's some fire effects. It really does just have a fun and exciting vibe to it. I've probably watched this more than any other Carpenter movie that I own, probably just because it's the funnest one. And even if we look back to The Thing, the last one we did, they both do have these kind of sci-fi horror, maybe not as much horror in this one. I don't think anyone's actually afraid of Big Trouble in Little China, but they both do have the same kind of elements, and these films are really different. And I don't know why, when I first started out with Carpenter, I thought I was going to be watching kind of like the same films over and over again for some reason. And there's a lot of variety in this, not just that he's cutting down on the horror factor to kind of build up more of just more of a positive vibe, just like at the end when they all drink that magic potion, they all feel positive. That's how I kind of feel. I like the truck stuff in the beginning, and it's got a lot of fun characters, no doubt about that. The special features are, I'd say they're decent. They're okay. You have an interview with Richard Edlund, who did the visual effects. He seems like he has no interest at all in talking. It's very poor video quality as well, and there's a bunch of jump cuts. just throughout it. So I have no idea. There must have been some real tough times with getting him to do the interview. Some extended scenes, which it's mainly just the same scenes you've seen, just a few extra seconds. It's nothing that's really going to change how you view the film. They do have a little bit of an extended ending where, if you've only seen the original ending, where they escape the factory, they get in the Pork Chop Express, the big truck, to get out of there, and Wang and Mei Ling are kind of, they're finally embracing, and Gracie Law goes to Jack Burton. It's like, oh, isn't that cute? Aren't they adorable? And in the extended version, they see the Lords of Death, the kind of the gangsters who abducted Mei Ling in the beginning, and here they actually get their just comeuppance. So that's nice. Is there anything else that I'm missing in this? Oh, the music video at the end that you can hear through the end credits that Carpenter was part of. It's as 80s as it gets. It's one of the most 80s music videos, with whatever, Aha, Take On Me. It reeks the 80s. It's a very catchy song in a really cheesy music video that encapsulates the time. We did that. All right. Oh yeah, there was a featurette that's, it was around at the time. It's not very long. So, I mean, the special features are nothing that's going to blow you away. They are just, in a lot of ways, a good complement to an already good movie. And yeah, I haven't seen Kim Cattrall in a lot, but for a movie where she almost is entirely just speaking in exposition, I think she still makes a good character out of it. She has not the greatest dialogue, but I think she really makes you like the character. She does kind of make you want to root for her and Burton, even though they don't get together at the end. It kind of feels like this was almost being set up to be a continuing series, like we're going to get a sequel, but that never happened. So we only have the one movie. We only have Big Trouble in Little China. What do you think of this movie? Has it aged well? What do you think of the effects? Am I right about saying that this was ahead of its time with the sort of comic book and video game aesthetic, or am I just kind of tooting Carpenter's horn on this? So let me know about what you think about this movie. Is it still worth being in the collection? I definitely think so. But, if you don't think so, let's hear from you. Tell me why you don't like this movie so much. So that'll wrap us up on today's episode. Hope everyone is doing good. And until next time, be kind and rewind to each other. And it's not a true home without home video. Thank you. Goodbye.